some days I like sit here and I realize like how glad I am that I'm the type of person to just not realize whenever like people are making fun of me, because I was talking to one of my friends one day and I was telling her about elementary because she used to tell me how she got bullied, and I was like, yeah, I was like, yeah, usually like my all of my friends had gotten like bullied or like picked on in elementary or like in middle school, because like I feel like that just builds character. And I was like, I don't know if I've ever gotten bullied or like anything like that, but I do remember like there was times where like a girl had called me like an annoying fat rat, and how this girl, I found out one of my friends had wrote in their diary about how I was fat, and I would say like, oh, I always grew up like getting told I was annoying in like middle school and in high school, in like my early years of high school, like freshman year and then last year sophomore year. um she was like, wait, now you low-key were bullied, and I was like, oh, like okay. Because I just never realized that people were making fun of me. I was just like, oh. Because now I'm like sitting there and I'm thinking about it. In like in middle school, like in 7th grade, I was one of those girls, my bangs used to like cover my whole head, okay, and they were like really to the side, and I was like this all the time, and I had short hair and I was in a wolf cut, and I wore a bunch of colorful beaded braids, and I wore platform Converse every single day with skinny jeans, and I looked very like emo to everybody. I looked very different. And I remember like people would just look at me and they would just say something about my appearance like off the bat. Like they call me Dora, they call me emo, they call me everything. And I just never really cared. I was just like, oh yeah, okay, like cool. And I guess I never took any of that to heart. Like I never like took that and was like, oh, they're bullying me, and I never made it like make me sad. Because I'm the type of person to like, I'll call myself something just so like if whenever other people call me it, I won't be as hurt. Because once I started realizing that, oh, everybody around me thought I was annoying except for like my friends, then I was like, oh, like it's okay, like I am annoying and like I don't really care. Like, okay, the fuck, like I like how I am, that's it. And I'm honestly really glad for that, because I never really realized how much it protected me until now. Because now you see a lot of people who called you stuff when you grew up, and you see them just kind of fall in line and fall into their place in society, I guess, and they kind of just become everybody else. And like where I'm from, that's either being like a stoner and like a druggie, like a basic Mexican dude, a basic Latina, like I'm lucky enough to where I don't go to a school where people just get bullied like that. Even the weird kids have their friend groups, and I think if you were to ever get like bullied, people would just consider that talking shit, and they just talk shit back, you know? I guess I never realized that, but I do know that there's like mean boys. Like, don't get me wrong, there's never a place that doesn't exist without bullying or just mean people. But I know, like, if you're alone, you're kind of choosing to be alone, or you're just like introverted. Like me, I don't have any friends in my classes, but I know like if I were to go and just talk to people, I could have friends. But yeah, cause I'm in AP art, so I'm around a lot of kids who are like considered weird. They all have their own friends and they all live their own lives, and they literally are just like everybody else, because they don't really get like attacked and like bullied and shoved into lockers. I think the way like bullying was portrayed and peer pressure was portrayed in like movies is so unrealistic. Like it's so insane. I think nowadays we kind of all have that mentality of like, oh, I'll try something once, I'll try anything once, like and that's where you're kind of, or you're more influenced to try certain things. Because for me, whenever I started, it was just because like, oh, I wanted to try it. I'm lucky I have enough self-control where I didn't become like addicted to it and now I need it every single day. But you know, some people do really enjoy it and they like the feeling, like how people enjoy like drinking, and they just do it all the time. But it's never like, oh, do this, I'm gonna make you do this, like you have to, or else we're not gonna be friends with you. Like, that's not it at all. They offer it to you and it's just like, oh yeah, like, and I'll do it, like, okay. I think that type of stuff is really outdated. I think, honestly, it's nice going to a school that's really big. It's nice living in such a diverse area. I feel like if I was anywhere else, I'd like die. Because to me, I kind of have the privilege of understanding like nothing outside of a minority filled community. Like where I live, there's barely any white people, and I'm surrounded by black people and by Hispanics. I don't really know what it's like to be racially profiled, and I'm glad. There have been times where I just like peep stuff and there is microaggressions, but it's never something that's insane because of where I live. I know if I were to go out there and like go to a more white community, like I would get, something would happen to me, you know. So I think like that's why I kind of just have a very blessed mindset where I'm kind of like, oh, I feel like bullying isn't really there, and I feel like, where I'm like, oh, I feel like I don't really, there's not really so many racist remarks that I've gotten because it's just where I live. I do know in like small towns people do that because everyone is like the same, but no, over here I don't feel excluded. I'll find friends. I don't feel like a weird kid. I am very lonely. Like, I don't really talk to people, but that's just out of my own choice. Like, I choose not to talk to people because I feel like it's too late in the year to talk to people. That's my own problem. But yeah, I did, like, that's why it's kind of just now hitting me where I'm like, oh, like, people did say stuff about me in middle school and I was like low-key kind of like picked on. But I always had my friends, of course. Like, I'm very extroverted whenever I want to be, and so I was never quiet and I never took anything to heart. I think in 10th grade, whenever people were like, damn, like, Natalie, you were annoying, or like I got told I was annoying more often, or like I heard more about it, then I was like, okay, like, yeah, I am annoying, like, well, I don't know what you guys want me to do. This year I don't really talk as much, and it's not because people called me annoying. It was just because like I don't really have anyone to talk to. But I do know, you know, I'm very self-aware of how I am and how people perceive me. I think that's what you need to be. Like, I think more people should just focus on finding themselves, because I do know a lot of people in high school, and I like to call them sponges because they just soak up what everybody else likes to do, and they just do that. I do know a lot of girls like that, and to me it just makes me feel like I'm always dumbfounded, like, because it's just like, oh, that you're just not real. Like, there's just no way, because look at me, like, this is my room. I have a bunch of, like, this is how I live, you know. I live surrounded by my own personality, and I love myself enough to the point where I don't need anybody else. I don't need to have a big friend group. I don't need to do a bunch of things, because I'm just so glad of my own and so happy with my own presence. A lot of people aren't like that. And it's kind of just like a hit in the face when you realize that, oh, you got to enjoy yourself and your own presence, but a lot of people didn't. And it's hard to see, because it's like, if you don't know yourself, or you're not actively trying to find yourself in high school, and you're not aware of the fact that you don't know yourself, why aren't you trying to figure it out, you know? Like how Brittany Broski said, she was like, if you don't know who you are, sit with that. Like, why aren't you sitting with it? Why don't you like branch out? Why aren't you branching out? Why aren't you actively exploring, actively trying to figure out what you like, actively trying to figure out your style, like the way you view things? Like, why aren't you doing that? Because I think if more women know themselves, the whole world will be changed. And that's where it comes to this whole separate thing of choice feminism, but I'm not gonna get into that right now. But yeah, the fuck. Yeah, because I know myself a good amount. Like, I know I can be selfish at times. I know there's times where I'm very rude, and I know there's times where I get irritated, and I know there's times where I don't want to talk to people. But I also know there's times where I'm very giving, and I know I'm a good friend, and I know all of these things about me, and I'm really glad I do, because that means that I can make decisions for myself and for myself only. Like, I do not care what society thinks about me or what a man will think about me, and I'm really thankful for that. And you suffer more when you don't realize that, when you don't know who you are and you don't know what you like, and when you can't make decisions like on your own for yourself, and when you're making decisions for other people and for the validation of other people. Like, for me, I know if I were to get plastic surgery, I would get it for myself, and I would get it because I didn't feel confident in myself, and I wanted to feel confident. And I know it wouldn't have been to fit the beauty standard or things like that. I know it would just be for me. But there's so many other people who aren't like that, and that's so detrimental to you, because how will you enjoy being with anybody else if you don't enjoy being with yourself? My job. Let me click. Anyways, I'm glad I figured myself out very early on, and I knew what I liked, and I still know what I like, and I know what type of person I want to be. Obviously, I'm still growing, like a teenager. You know, things happen, and I'm gonna be a bad person at times, but it's up to me to like take that and learn from it. But yeah, I think it's so important to just figure yourself out. And like, if you don't figure yourself out and you don't know who you are, then figure it out. I think that's like my biggest advice to anybody, is if you don't know yourself, figure it out, because that's how you're gonna solve a lot of your problems. That's how you're gonna solve like any self-image issues. Like, there has never been like a really bad time where I hated my body. There was actually a point where I just hated myself, and I just hated how it looked. But I also knew, like, I was like, I know I'm a child. Like, I know I'm still developing, I'm still growing. Like, this will not be my forever body. Like, I'm not even at my prime yet. Like, calm down. Now, there's still times where I'm like, oh, I wish my body looked more like this. But it's never something that is consuming my brain. And it's because I'm okay with myself, and I'm okay with my personality, and I know that that matters more than anything else. And that's why I'm saying it's so important to just know who you are, because if you really do know who you are and you're happy with your mind and your soul, then eventually you'll look in the mirror and you'll be happy with yourself. Because why wouldn't you want to be happy with yourself? Because there just should be a point in life where you live on your own and you have to figure stuff out on your own, and you can't depend on anybody else. And that's when it comes really in handy, because you just know what to do. Like, I know what type of milk I like. A lot of people don't know what type of milk they like. I know what I would routinely get at a coffee shop. I know that if I were to get my own place, I would know exactly how to decorate it because I know what I like. People don't, because they don't know who they are. Figure that out. Figure out who you are. Be a person who knows who they are, because then you radiate confidence and joy and love, and you're happy with yourself, and your brain gets happier. Do you think I was happy all the time? No, because I didn't know who I was, but now I do. I know that I don't need anybody else. Like, girl, I know that I'm perfectly fine by myself. I know I like alone time. I know I could be alone for forever and I wouldn't die. I know what type of milk I like. I know that I prefer chocolate over vanilla. I know that there's a certain shoe I would get all the time if I needed new shoes. Oh my gosh, my nose is so itchy. But yeah, that's my rant for the day. Peace out. Hashtag keep on living. Hashtag 2K. Hashtag love. Bye.